كلمات كمال أسماء الذات مشيئة قدرات قول مسائل شرف سلطان ملك أيامها.
Like drops we flow and lose ourselves in the ocean of God's love, surrendering our will in His and uniting all as one. I in He and He in me. Let's join together and see one God, one religion, one humanity.
Baha Jalal Jamal Azamat Nur Rahmat Kalimat Kamal Asma Izzat Mashiach Qudrat Qawl Masail Sharaf Sultan Mulk Ayamiha.
Welcome, 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 welcome to the Wondrous Baha'i Calendar Podcast. Today is Istiqlal, Asma 181 BE, which is to say, the Day of Majesty and Grandeur in the month of names, the 81st year of the Baha'i era, and August 22, 2024. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast. Generally, we expect to make the meeting publicly available the Monday after the recording. Our purpose for this gathering is to explore the many significances of the Baha'i calendar and to share ideas about how to implement the calendar for daily living. Throughout this program, you will hear us using both the Arabic and the English names for the calendar and accessibility. Your hosts for today are Nancy Nelson Ewing. Nancy is a theater professional for over 40 years, a playwright, children's story writer, director, actress on Broadway, film, and television. She's the DEI/creative consultant and senior teaching artist for the award-winning Children's Theater Company in New York City. She's been a Baha'i for over 30 years, and Nancy was born in the month of Kalimat, or words. Cora Palazzolo grew up as a Baha'i in the Northwest Oregon area. She is a daughter, sister, mother to 3, and grandma to 3. The latest grandson was just born 5 days ago. She was born in the month of Glory, or Jalal, and is a devoted advocate of the Wondrous calendar. And I am Tamara Bond Williams. I'm a Baha'i from the Mid-Hudson area cluster. I am the proud mom of an adult son. I'm a bonus mom to 2 adult daughters. I'm a pet mom to a cat. And I was born in the month of Mercy, or Ramat. So for today's program, we've just had our welcome, and I'm happy that you're all here. We will have an opening meditation that will center our hearts and our thoughts in this space. We will then have prayers for the month, day, and week. And then we will have the history, core concepts, and today's spiritual attributes, all pertaining to the Baha'i calendar. And then finally, we will open up the space so that we can have what we're calling an arts social. And so with that, I am very pleased to turn the floor over to Nancy.
Thank you so much, Tamara. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening on this, our maiden voyage, as we explore the Baha'i calendar. And we are going to start off with a visual meditation just to kind of get everyone's energy aligned, get the vibrations going. And so we just want to start with that. So I'm going to ask everyone to just take a moment and find a comfortable position. If you're seated, just place your feet down on the floor, your hands palms up on your thigh. If you want to lie down, please feel free to do so by lying on your back, hands on your side or across your heart. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and let your body, wherever you happen to be, sitting or lying, just sort of sink into the space. And we're going to play a little frequency vibrational music for you while you get into that position and make that adjustment for just about 10-15 seconds. Music coming up. But go ahead and just get into that position right now. Okay. Well, sans the music right now. We'll just keep moving. Going to ask everyone to please close your eyes. And let's put our attention on our breath and our breathing. And I'm going to ask you to breathe deeply by inhaling through your nose on a count of 3, and then hold 4, and then slowly exhaling through slightly parted lips. Okay, we can all do that together, but then at your own rhythm. So we're going to inhale through our nose, eyes closed. Hold 4 and exhale. As you exhale, just allow your body to just sort of sink into the space, relax. And as this is the month of Asma, which means names, I will be saying a few names of God. And as you hear the names that I'll be uttering, I'm going to ask you to visualize that name and bring the energy of that name into your mind's eye, and let the divine energy of that name vibrate within your spirit, allowing the connection to embrace your being. Again, breathing in on a count of 3, exhaling at your own pace. But that same breathing, as you inhale, I want you to envision the name omniscient and allow the warmth and power of that name, however you're envisioning it, to embrace your being inside and out. Feel the love and the light of the omniscient. Breathing in and exhaling at your pace. And as we inhale, let the omniscient, loving energy scoop up any negative thought, any despair, stress, and allow it to be carried out with that exhaling breath. And if you have to go back in and inhale and scoop up some more, you go right ahead. And on the exhale, depositing all of that negative thought, despair, stress outside of your being, and let it dissipate away, replacing it with light and inner peace. And again, at your own pace, inhale through your nose. And as you inhale, let's bring in the loving energy of the healer, feeling it from head to toe, opening up the heart chakra, filling it with love. Let that healer energy flow through your inner being, gathering any frustration, pain, anger, discomfort, gathering it all up and taking it away through that exhale, letting it go, disappearing away from your being, replacing it with the loving, healing energy of the healer. And again, inhale and bring in the loving, majestic energy of the all glorious, and let the breath course through your body from head to toe, gathering, encircling, releasing any conflict, selfishness, self-doubts, envy. As you release that through your exhale, envisioning all being carried out, disappearing away from your being, replacing it with calming, loving energy of the all glorious. Again, inhale the power and grandeur of the sustainer. Feel the warm embrace of the love and the grace surround you, comforting you, blessing you, lifting you up, and loving you. And on your exhale, let the breath gather any worry, anxiety, confusion, sadness. And on the exhale, let it out, dispersing it away from your body, mind, spirit, leaving you feeling open to receive God's grace, allowing you to get connected to your innate majesty and nobility. Just continue breathing at your own pace as we slowly come back into the space, rejuvenated, connected to spirit and each other, full of joy, full of peace. You can open your eyes on that last exhale. Thank you. Open your eyes whenever you feel like you've come back into the space.
Thy name is my healing, O my God. On remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise.
In the name of God, the Lord of overpowering majesty, the all-compelling, hallowed be the Lord in whose hand is the source of dominion. He createth whatsoever he willeth, by his word of command be, and it is. His hath been the power of authority heretofore, and it shall remain his hereafter. He maketh victorious whomsoever he pleaseth, through the potency of his behest. He is in truth the powerful, the almighty. Unto him pertaineth all glory and majesty in the kingdoms of revelation and creation, and whatever lieth between them. Verily, he is the potent, the all-glorious. From everlasting he hath been the source of indomitable strength, and shall remain so unto everlasting. He is indeed the Lord of might and power. All the kingdoms of heaven and earth and whatever is between them are God's, and his power is supreme over all things. All the treasures of earth and heaven and everything between them are his, and his protection extendeth over all things. He is the creator of the heavens and the earth and whatever lies between them, and he truly is a witness over all things. He is the Lord of reckoning for all that dwell in the heavens and on earth, and whatever lieth between them. And truly God is swift to reckon. He setteth the measure assigned to all who are in the heavens and the earth, and whatever lieth between them. Verily, he is the supreme protector. He holdeth in his grasp the keys of heaven and earth and of everything between them. At his own pleasure doth he bestow gifts through the power of his command. Indeed, his grace encompasseth all, and he is the all-knowing. Say, God sufficeth unto me. He is the one who holdeth in his grasp the kingdom of all things through the power of his host of heaven and earth and whatever lieth between them. He protecteth whomsoever among his servants he willeth. God in truth keepeth watch over all things. Immeasurably exalted art thou, O Lord. Protect us from whatever lieth in front of us and behind us, above our heads and on our right, on our left, below our feet, and every other side to which we are exposed. Verily, thy protection over all things is unfailing.
I entreat thee, O thou who art the ruler of the kingdoms of creation and the author of all names, to write down my name with the names of them who, from eternity, have circled round the tabernacle of thy majesty, and clung to the hem of thy loving kindness, and held fast the cord of thy tender mercy. Thou art in truth the help in peril, the self-subsisting.
Okay, again, I'd just like to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to start this journey with you. This is really as I said, our maiden voyage, and the wondrous body calendar really is a thing to behold. And we hope you'll be as excited about it as we are. I'm just going to give a very, very brief history of the Baha'i calendar here. I'm going to start my little slideshow. Let's see. So, since ancient times, understanding the celestial bodies of the stars and the planets, the sun, the moon, and the alignment with time, space, and the equinox has always been a direct parallel to religious dispensations and civilizations. With the advent of a new religion establishing a new calendar, it is thought to symbolize or represent establishing a new cycle of time for humanity, a way of understanding our Creator and what they declare to be our spiritual purpose. And so, in keeping with that history, the Baha'i calendar was initiated in the 1840s by the forerunner and herald of the Baha'i faith. He was known as the Bab, which means the gate. He laid the groundwork for this new cycle of time. The Bab made profound modifications in establishing the Baha'i calendar. He changed the number of months. He replaced the names of the months, days, and years with virtuous titles. And in so doing, it ushered in an infusion of spiritual awareness and elevated energy in our daily lives. He divided the year into 19 months of 19 days, with the intercalary days, what Baha'is call a yamaha, of either 4 or 5 days occurring before the last month of the year, depending on whether it was leap year or not. And here are the 19 months in the year of Baha'i year. And as you can see, these are these wonderful titles that each month is given. And if anyone is a journal writer or a diary keeper, I find that having these titles as part of a daily focus, a monthly focus and a daily focus, really adds to the prayer and meditation for the day and the month. And also, the days of the week have the same virtuous title. Saturday is glory, Sunday is beauty, Monday is perfection, Tuesday is grace. And so, you know, you're writing in your journal and it's Tuesday and you're focused on grace, or Wednesday and you're focused on justice. The Baha'i calendar is a solar calendar as opposed to a lunar calendar. Each period of 19 years is called a Vahid, and Vahid means unity. 19 Vahids are called a Kulashe. One Kulashe is 361 Baha'i years, and Kulashe means all things. We also have holy days throughout the year that we celebrate: the Festival of Rizwan, Declaration of the Bab, Ascension of Baha'u'llah. There's so much more to talk about, which we will go in, as this is going to be a series, if we have not informed you of that. So this is going to go on for at least a year, 19 months, Baha'i year. And as the name Badi, meaning wondrous or unique, suggests, the Baha'i calendar is indeed a unique institution in the history of human culture. Rutgers University sociologist Eviatar Sarabavel notes that the 19-day cycle creates a distinctive rhythm which enhances group solidarity. Zerubbabel argues that the 19-day cycle is more properly defined as a week rather than a month because it bears no connection whatsoever to the lunar cycle. Furthermore, he states, by finding the closest approximation of the square root of the annual cycle, Baha'is have managed to establish the most symmetrical relationship possible between the week, which we call a month, and the year, which no one else throughout history has ever managed to do. And that is just a very brief tip of the iceberg of the Wondrous Baha'i calendar. Lots more to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nan. And
Thank you.
here comes Cora.
So I need to share my screen. And the way I get to do that is,
The green button.
oh yes, right, thank you. Thank God for Tamara's tech. I don't know what we would do without it. Okay, share, and then here, share, let's then go to slideshow. Okay, my part, and welcome everyone. I'm sorry I was late. I'm on the west part of the coast, and I guess I got my times mixed up. But here I am, and I'm going to talk about the months and the days within the months. So I think of the Baha'i calendar as a clock. Imagine it as this circular pattern. And as we see here, we start out with the days: splendor, glory, beauty, and this is going all the way around. This is the names of the months. Starting out with the first month of the year is always splendor. And what's unique about this calendar that the Bab said is that the names of the days within the month are the same as the names of the months. So here we are, we're in the 9th month today. This Baha'i month, we are in the month of names, or Asma. As you see, this arrow is pointing here, sort of like a clock face, to names. And then here we have the days within the month. So the first day within the month in the Baha'i calendar, it's always the feast day. The first day is always the day of splendor within the month of, and in this month it's Asma. The second day is the day of glory, similar to the second month in the year is named glory. Here, yesterday was the day of beauty in the month of names. So if we were to have this as a calendar clock, this would be yesterday, and this would be today, Asmat, grandeur. The grandeur of names. And that's what I would like to focus on today, as it says, the day of grandeur in the month of names. And so I have taken that calendar clock idea and put it into a card form. And on the cards, we have quotes from various religions. This one happens to be from the Upanishads. And then a short suggested reflection. So at the top, we see for the card of the day, the grandeur of names. And then the quote, as rivers flowing into the ocean find their final place and their name and form disappear, even so the wise becomes free from name and form and enters into the radiance of the Supreme Spirit, who is greater than all greatness. Again, that's from the Upanishads, translated by Juan Mascaro. And the reflection is to name three things from which you are ready to free yourself from. Things that could be like sadness, or maybe there was an issue, an argument, or something like that. Three things that you're ready to move on from. And then you find three rocks and throw them into the water downstream. So the water, the energy river takes whatever you are ready to free yourself away from downstream, and it releases the negative qualities. And then you turn upstream and state your heart's desire, a prayer asking for something, maybe forgiveness or something like that instead. And that's just a little bit about the calendar clock and the cycles that we go through in the Wondrous Body calendar. Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, and with that, I am going to take this opportunity. Yes, I'm going to stop the other screen share. And I'm going to be all bossy and share my screen. So how's that?
There we go.
Right. That's nowhere near as pretty as what you were just looking at, but
Oh, no.
Yes. Yes.
There's no competition here. That's not one of the names of God, I don't
it
think.
really isn't. You're absolutely right. Well, let me just When I first learned about the many hidden details of the Baha'i or Wondrous calendar, I realized that a visual tool would be useful to help see all these hidden aspects of the calendar and to reflect on their relationship to each other and to me. So I came up with the idea of creating cards that would visualize the day. And this is a little bit different from Cora's calendar cards that you'll soon see. Slightly different goal. I imagined that one could lay out a card for the day of the month, the day of the week, and for the month, and then take in as a whole, take in what does it all means. So what I'm going to share now is a prototype, still under development, because I'm still trying to figure out funding to produce these as actual things that exist in the world. So your feedback on what you're about to see will be welcomed. The first thing to know is that the month of Asma is located in the green spectrum on the calendar, and we'll see why in just a moment. The month of Asma, or as it's called, names, as you can see on the card, also is translated in other areas within the Baha'i writings as titles or attributes or designations. And so I want to share three big ideas from the Baha'i writings around the idea of names. The first is that we know God by his attributes, and that his attributes can also be considered his names. So we know, for instance, that God is great and glorious and merciful and compassionate, but we also know that his name is the great, the all glorious, the most merciful, the most compassionate. And so another core idea is that the manifestations of God, that is how we know God, because we know, as the Bible says, that God is a spirit and we must worship him in spirit and in truth, but therefore our only tangible access to God is by way of his manifestations. This is a Baha'i concept. These are the manifestations of God are Baha'u'llah, Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, the Buddha, and many more. And they are all perfect reflections of the divine attributes of God. Through them, we can see God. And this third idea that I want to bring to our attention is that we ourselves are created in the image of God. That is to say, that humanity is capable of manifesting all of the divine attributes, and indeed, we are responsible for cultivating the divine attributes in ourselves. Besides the names of the month, you can see that there are symbols on the card that are included in the idea of each month. So I'd like to go through them individually, starting with this water drop. The month of Asma is within the element of water. And so I just invite you to consider, when you think of water, what comes to mind? What comes to mind when you see a drop of water? Please allow me to offer this idea, that the drop falls into the wider body of water. As it falls into this wider body of water, it loses itself entirely to become part of the whole. So in this way, water symbolizes unity and recognizing our oneness. The next symbol is of a person sitting in a lotus position with a lotus over their head. This is intended to represent the self or the soul. It is that part of us that comprises our psyche and contains our psychological traits and our sense of self. This aspect mediates between the spirit and the body. It is associated frequently with academic learning and knowledge. This self frequently lives to die. It is the lifelong spiritual work of every human to continually relinquish those aspects of ourselves that are not reflections of God's. We are those drops that are striving for immersion. Finally, the elements also have corollary gems. For the element of water, the corresponding gem is the emerald, which is what gives the element its color. I'm not going into gems today, but I simply want to share that this too is an aspect of how we can understand and tap into the spiritual energies of the day. You also will notice that in tiny print, there's a quote. I will share that quote on the next slide. It says, "Thus hath he revealed these most excellent names and these most exalted words in the manifestations of himself and the mirrors of his being." You can read the rest, but this quote pertains to the manifestations of God, whose names are also the names of God, and who are the perfect mirrors of all of God's divine attributes. And so we come forward to the day of the month. As you just saw in Cora's presentation, today is the fourth day, or Azamat, or grandeur, within the month of Asma. As noted before, the months and the days follow the same pattern of naming. Other names for Azamat are glory, majesty, dominion, and greatness. These are other translations that you can find in the Baha'i writings. Asma is in the air element, and so what I put here is a visualization of a puff of air. In other words, moving air or wind. Air is, of course, all around us. We really don't notice it, except in its movement or in its absence. In this regard, it is helpful to know that the personal aspect of this element is the spirit, which I've represented as a feather, the mechanism which allows birds to fly on the air. The intellectual power of reason and imagination, which allows human beings to understand and envision abstract realities, are faculties of the human spirit. And again, there is a gemstone associated with the element. It is the yellow topaz. For this quote, in the small print, it says, "O servant who has fixed his gaze upon my face, hearken unto the voice of thy Lord, the all-glorious, calling aloud from the dayspring of grandeur and majesty. Verily, his call will draw thee nigh unto the realm of glory, and will cause thee to extol his praise in such wise that every created thing will be enraptured, and to magnify his glory in such manner as to influence the entire creation. Truly, the Lord is the protector, the gracious, the all-informed." Finally, the day of the week is Thursday, or Istichlal, or Majesty. There are only 7 days, and they have names, as you saw in Nancy's presentation. They also have elements. In the Baha'i calendar, there are 4 elements. They're the traditional Platonic elements that we think of, but they go in this order. They go fire, air, water, earth. And so Saturday in the Baha'i calendar is the first day of the week, which makes Thursday the 6th day of the week. The 4 elements are allocated across the week with days 4, 5, 6, and 7, all being within the element of earth. But days 4, 5, and 6 also carry the first 3 elements into the element of earth. So the day of the day of majesty is both water and earth. Since we've already talked about the element of water, let's talk a little bit about the element of earth. Its body representation is the actual body, that is the physical being of humanity and creation. It is the element of manifestation, the place where things concretize into form. The element is represented by the ruby, and therefore its color is red. And to make the case, as I will, that we are living in the Baha'i era, and therefore we can all find ourselves within this framework, whether we are Baha'i or not. I've offered to a Baha'i quote from the Bible for this particular card. This is from the Psalms. Psalms 145, verses 1 through 5. "I will extol thee, my God, O King, and I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day I will praise thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty and of thy wondrous works. And so with that, I would like to invite you now to take a few moments, just a few, to reflect as we show all of the cards laid out and take them in as a whole and reflect on how this represents our day. Thank you so much.